All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Before we get started, I just want to make sure that the audio sounds good and everything is okay. If there are any issues, if it's too loud, too quiet, or anything else like that, please just let me know and then we'll just jump into it. We've got a couple interesting things to do today. I'm going to show some pretty fun code and we're going to give away some cool stuff. So as long as everything's working right and everybody can hear me, I think it's time for us to get started. I'm going to switch right over, and before we dive into the code and the giveaway process and the cool little auto battler thing, I want to talk about the thing that I'm going to give away today real quick, and then the other thing that I'm going to give away. So the thing I'm giving away is this art of writing for video games. It's a course they reached out to me about video game writing, and it seemed really interesting. I'm going to join it, and they gave me a seat to give away. So I've been talking about it a little bit and decided that I wanted to raffle it off in a fun way, and I've been collecting emails and names of people who were interested over the last week. So I've got them all in a list, and we're going to run through a process to pick the winner for it. If you want to check that out, there's a link down in the description below. But the other thing I wanted to give away first was one of these hoodies. So I got these. Oh, I just realized that you can't see my desktop. So this is the course, The Art of Writing for Video Games. That's the one that'd be given away. But the other thing I'm going to give away is one of these hoodies right here with the embroidered robot, or one of the other hoodies that you can see on my page. And the reason that I'm going to do that is because I wrote all of this code late last night in bed, and I want to go through a test run with something that's not the main prize for the giveaway first, to make sure that everything works right. And if there are any issues or bugs or something, we can kind of like knock those out. So first, I think I'll jump over to my desktop, and I'm going to show you what I've got here set up and how it works. We'll dive into the code in a minute. First, though, let's just take a look at it. So I've got this battler area set up with a couple different guys that are about to fight, and I've got a battle script object here that's huge, and I want to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I'll just show you what it does. I can give it a list of players like Jason, Salim, Andrew, Yori, and then hit play, and it's going to have all of those characters go through and actually fight. So you see I've got Jason against Andrew right now, and Salim and Yori are up next. Andrew lost, Jason won. Jason went to the list to fight next. Now Salim and Yori are battling, and Salim won. Now we're down to 2 fighters left, Salim and Jason, and we'll see who wins. And it looks like, okay, Salim took me out. All right, so we'll talk about how this all works, and then we'll use this to actually pick some winners, kind of go through the code and all that stuff, and then give away some prizes. So before we get started, though, before I run it for all of the people, or for the first time as like a big test run, I set a link in the description for a hoodie. If you want to sign up to win the hoodie, I'm going to drop it into chat real quick, and I'll drop it into the description if I didn't already put it in there. Oh, no, I already put it in there. So you've got about 5 minutes while we go through the code to enter, and everybody that enters, we'll just go through, pick somebody, run it after I've described the code, and just go ahead and enter if you're interested. I'm only going to use the email to contact you if you win. So if you want, just put in your stuff, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's take a look at the code and see how this whole thing's set up. First, I want to mention that this project is a bit of a mess. I did, again, throw it together late last night, and there's really only 2 scripts here. This isn't a long-term project, but it's also kind of built this way intentionally. I thought about kind of refactoring and cleaning things up as I was building it, but then I thought that would make for a much more interesting full video where I kind of dive into how to take this project and expand it out so I could do like multiple fights at once, how the refactoring would work, and how I can make that all, I guess, show that process kind of live, and then maybe an edited version of that. So if you're interested in that and seeing like how to refactor something that you'll see as a relatively large file for me, 200 and something lines, make sure you drop a comment down below, and I'll I'll probably do a video on it. I'll probably do a video even if you don't comment, but if you do and there's a bunch of them, I'll prioritize it. So this battle script has a bunch of different references on it. First though, let's just take a look at a couple of things that I think aren't references that are probably more important to look at first. We got players text here where I just pasted in some names, and then this list of player strings. And the way that this is set up is there's an onValidate, and in the onValidate, I take this player text and convert it into a list of strings. And the list of strings is essentially my players or battlers. Let's go take a look at that real quick. So, look at that. I'm already at the onValidate part. Perfect. So in the onValidate, I'm going to split this into a new line here in my, my link statement. In the onValidate, I take that player's text, which was just that string text, and there's the text area attribute here. You can probably see that. It makes it so that we have the bigger text block. I could have made it taller or something, but I'm just pasting things in. I just wanted to make sure it was at least multi-line. So we take that player's text, we split it using the /n, because when I'm pasting them in, that's what we get for the separator for new lines. And then we select them, and I'm selecting them as lowercase. So I select each string, I lowercase them, and I remove the /n at the end, just to clear out that extra character there from when I paste it. And then also filter out all the ones that are 0 length. So if there's a blank entry there, and then finally make them distinct. And you see in the distinct part, I had to do something a little bit special with the other signups. With the YouTube names, it should be pretty distinct. Everybody, I assume, has a unique YouTube name. So that's how the onValidate works. It's nothing too special, but then I use this players in the onEnable. And if you saw the way that the scene was set up, let's just hit play again in it. Let me add a couple more players here. Let's add, let's just go through a couple people in chat real quick. Oops, it's clicking into the wrong spot, sorry. Okay, I'm not good with this keyboard. Okay. Here. Oh, it's the pasting in here too. Okay, well, I'm just gonna use these. So let's hit play and just watch. You see that the way that it's set up is there are two sides. I've got a side of people here, Salim, Yorai, Andrew, and then Devesh, M and S, short names, I guess. But these are essentially like the two lines of people, and the next one up is the one at the top of the list. And the way that that's set up, if we jump into the code, by the way, if you want to enter to win the hoodie, there's a few more minutes, or maybe like 2 more minutes. Let me go check and see how many people. There have already been 60 signups, so I want to cut it really soon. But the way that that works is inside of the onEnable, we count the number of people in the first half, which is really just the number of players divided by 2. The second half is a little bit more complicated because theoretically we could have an odd number of players. If we have 101 players, we're not going to have divided by 2. We're not going to have 50. We're going to have 50 plus 1. So we just do the mod check here, which checks to see if the remainder of it divided by 2 is 0. So if it's even, if the total number is even, we do the first half. Otherwise, we do the first half plus 1. So the second line will get the next extra player. If you want to sign up, the link is in the description and in the chat up above. There's only a few more seconds, though. And then I take all of the sides, and what I'm doing here is just shoving them into a brand new queue. I take the set of players, and for the first side or the left side, we just take the first half. Then for the second side or the right side, we skip the first half, so we do players.skip. This is just one of the nice things about Link. It makes it really easy to do this. And then we just take the second half. So just cut off the first half, take the second half. We could write this a different way, but that's a nice, easy way to read it, and it's just going to work. So that gives me my 2 characters, or my 2 teams. And then, well, let's start it playing and let it run for a little while and then see how it goes from there. And then we'll talk about how the rest of it works. I'm going to open up that sheet right now. It's just about done. I assume people are almost done entering. All right, we're going to take all of the names as they're getting pasted in. And then we're going to jump over to Unity, and I'm going to paste them in here. So delete all the player names. We're going to paste. All right, names are pasted in. We're going to hit play, watch it battle out, and then talk about how it actually works, how the battling part works. So there are 75 people battling right now. We've got Miko against Demon Dave up at the top, and Demon Dave won. So it's single elimination. So as soon as you get knocked out, you're out of the list. But notice down at the bottom left, Demon Dave went down here as the next player. And now it looks like Ahmed won, so he should go down to the list as the next player. And the way that it's going to pick the next list, or the list to put them on, by the way, is just on whichever list is shorter. Or at least that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah, so put them over here. So it finds which list is shorter, or which side is shorter, which queue has the least number of people, and then pushes them onto that queue. And then it defaults to the left queue if they're the same size. So I'm going to let this run through. Oh, we've also got a slider here. If we want to speed it up, make it 4x. So sorry if you wanted to see your battle go full speed. And then we can also, I guess, pull it all the way down here and pause it. And this is the second script in there. So let me take a look at that. I just have to be very careful not to make any changes while we're playing. So I'm going to let it keep running back there. Well, let's see. Let's leave it running there and see if we can leave the screen somewhat visible so people can see their battles going on, what's happening there. So when we're actually in a battle, the way that it works is, well, let's see, where's our update method? You can see this is a bit of a mess, and again, we'll talk about refactoring it later. But the way that it works is in our update method, first thing we do is check to see if we're not battling. If we're not battling at all, so we're like in between fights, which you can see right here, when we're in these win screens, we're not battling. Let's watch one. So in between these two, we will be in the not battling state. So now we're not battling. So if we're not battling, then we wait until we have we've reached the next time to battle, which you'll see there's a delay. It's like 2.5 seconds. And then we call this next battle method. And the next battle method, it selects, well, first it sets up the text, tells us how many people are left, just so you have an idea of how long the fight's going to be. When I was testing it out, I was like, hey, how long is this going to go? I have no idea. It seems like it may be forever. I wanted to get like a countdown, be able to see it, and I figured it'd be useful for everybody else. So there's 59 remaining. Then it dequeues the left battler and the right battler, and these are just, again, queues of strings. So I just take the name and drop it into this string so that we have it saved off for who's on the left, who's on the right. We set up the text elements, and here there's a lot of UI stuff going on. When we okay, I'm glad I'm covering some of these names here. When we got a little distracted there. All right, what the hell? So when I do the refactoring, one of the things to talk about is separating out some of the UI stuff. But when it's building this, really just it's hard to know exactly how the thing was going to come out and what the code was going to look like and what the actual gameplay was going to be. Oh no, we've got a blank player. Hopefully blank doesn't win all the way through. That would be terrible because then I'd have to go find out who blank is. I thought I'd filtered those out, but apparently not. So anyway, we set the text, we set their names, we set battling to true, we reset everybody's health to 100. You can see everybody goes to 100 health by default. We update the health bars, we set the next attack time to our current time plus 1 second. So every second there's an attack. If you watch here, you should see that if we're at 1 time or normal speed, you should see that about once a second something's happening. Somebody's taking damage, one side or the other side. And then we randomize the characters. Randomized characters just goes through the list of characters that have got set in the scene. And these are actually just a set of characters that I grabbed from a monster pack. I would show it to you, but I really don't want to screw this up and break it. There was 4 characters that I picked out of it and set them up with some of their own animations and a single animator controller we'll dive into in a minute. And then I made it just randomly pick one. So we set up the list of available characters, and here I did it kind of sloppily because it was late at night and I was kind of in a rush. We create a new list of characters. We grab a random one, make that the left character, remove that from the available list, grab a random one, make that the right character, and then we set them into their position. So we set the left character into the left position right here and the right character into the right position, and then enable them. We've turned all the other ones off before. We also disable their die setting if that was on, so their animator has a die mode or a die boolean parameter, and then we set the progress here to 0. And progress is really just for them moving in. So when I first set this up, they would just kind of spawn there and fight, and it seemed a little non-dramatic, like you couldn't really tell like in between the fights. So what I did was set up an outside spawn point for each of the guys. They spawn there, and then over the time of progress, which is really just a count of 0 to 1. It counts up with delta time. They lerp in towards their original positions that I had set. So I had their initial positions where they're fighting, and I just took it, duplicated them, made some outside starting positions, and then lerped them over. So let's see what else we've got in here. I think probably the most interesting part is going to be the actual fighting. So if we aren't picking a new battle, and we only pick a new battle if we actually have people left. So if we've run out of people to battle, then we don't pick new ones to fight. So if that's the case, then we do the actual fighting. So let's take a look at the fighting, and the fighting code again. None of this is actually pretty. Absolutely none of this code is pretty. It's all right in the middle late last night, and I didn't want to refactor it because I really want to take all of this and show how it can be refactored into something that maybe shows 4 fights at a time, and why and how you could get the refactoring and where the benefit would come from. Because I could refactor this now to get the same exact functionality. Wouldn't really show much, but I think if I showed maybe like 4 or 10 fights going on at once with the camera circling around them or something, that would be a lot cooler. So let's see how the rest of this works. So here, what are we doing? I've actually lost track. So here we're doing a bunch of stuff that, we only do if we've died. So if one of the player dies, so this is why you extract things. This should say like, if any player is dead, handle player death. That's the way that that's like my first refactoring if I wasn't afraid to break this while it's running. So if a player dies, then we determine who won, we determine who lost, and then we're determining who lost so we can put the little line through their text. Let's see, right there. See, that happens on line 98. And the winner text, I think we're using the winner text so we can set the winner right here. And you'll see that on line 103, just showing the winner's name right there. As soon as they win, come on. Come on, somebody. Norb, you got it? Oh, nope. Anyway, this one won. The one with the giant long name. And then we set battling to false and kind of bail out. So it's a very ugly way of dealing with death. Then we do the attack. So let's take a look at attack. So if the time is greater than or equal to our next attack time, we go into the actual attack method. And in the attack method, we just do a relatively simple battle. We roll for the left, and then we roll for the right. And whoever rolls the highest wins. If there's a tie, absolutely nothing happens. So if we roll the highest, if left rolls highest, we process a hit with the left roll. And the reason that we do that, you'll see, is in a second, because we've got critical hits. And then we pass in the animator, the health that we're going to change, and then I believe over here, the animator that we're hitting. So in the process hit method, if the roll is greater than 90, you consider that a critical hit. And you'll probably see that every now and then the health drops by 30, and they actually do a second animation. All the characters had 3 or 4 animations on them, so I decided to just use the second one as like their critical. So if you see them do like a big attack like that, that was critical. Or that might have been a victory one. But if you see them do a secondary attack type, and the health dropped by 30 all of a sudden, that's because they did a crit. Now, my timing on my animations is far from perfect. Same with the particles, so look at that in a minute. Next thing that we do is set the attack trigger. If it's not a critical, we just do the normal attack, and we reduce our health by 10. So you can take 10 normal hits, or I guess 4 crits, or 3 crits in a normal hit. And then if their health is greater than 0, so the person getting hit, then we make them take a hit or play a hit animation, and we play a particle system on them. And here it was late in the middle of the night. I was getting super lazy. I'm just grabbing the first particle system on them, which there's one that I grabbed from the cartoon effects pack, and playing that. In fact, I just disabled it auto playing this morning right before I started this. So again, some areas where we could probably refactor and kind of set this up to have like a character take damage, and then have them deal with playing the animation, playing the particle, and dealing with whether or not they die, and doing all that. That'd be kind of a good refactoring point, right? The other thing that we do, though, is if they haven't, or they have no health left, then we just set their bull to die. And then in the end, we return back the health and just set that into the health value, because that's where we're caching. We're just kind of returning that back out. And that was somewhat a side effect of the refactoring, just extracting this into a separate method. And I don't know. The final thing to do is update health bars. So we'll go take a look at that. In update health bars, set the values and then set the text. Blah. Nothing special, right? So that's kind of, I guess the whole of the code, and we've got 10 people remaining. Let's just actually watch this battle and see who wins the hoodie. And for the hoodie, I'm just going to email you a code. You'll be able to redeem either this one or one of the other hoodies if there's one that you like on there more than this one. Personally, this one's super bright and colorful, and I just like the design a lot. One of the ones Frank made. I'm still waiting on the game dev hoodies with the binary logo. Those should be here any day now, just to make sure that they're good, and then we'll be sending those out too. Those are for they're free with the Black Friday bundle. Just go to game.courses/Black Friday. You can see the link down below if you want to check that out too. But I think I might just make it so you can pick one of these if you want to. All right, we got 6 people left. I don't know, see who wins it. Oh, okay. I've definitely got to start filtering some of these names out. I did filter out the other names though, so we'll see. Yeah, I saw on the big list I filtered them out. Hopefully we get an actual winner. All right, last one. Here comes the final battle. Let's pause it. Pause. And he just took that big hit. Look at him wincing. All right, come on. Was it Ahmed or Tonoi? Oh, okay, Tonoi. Oh wait, we got one left. I missed him. I missed the last battler. Sorry. Oh, there we go. Same winner. All right. So we've got our winner for the hoodie. It seems like everything went well. I'm going to hit pause. Did we get any errors? Nothing in the console. You can see the scene view here, by the way. The hierarchy, it's just full of mostly stuff from this Cinti Dungeon pack. So I used the Cinti Dungeon pack. Let me actually look at the packages that I used here. Zoom out. So the Medieval Kingdom UI that was on sale, I used that for the sliders here and these health bars. And then I used the Polygon Dungeon, the RPG Monsters. That was one of the ones I got on the Black Friday sale. And then I didn't actually use the cartoon train textures. I thought about it, but I didn't get it. So Tonoi wins. Let me write that down. Got my winner set up right here. And then I'm going to go grab the list of names for the big giveaway or for the course. We're going to drop those in, and we're going to see who wins that. And if you want to win something next time, I think we're going to do some more giveaways on the Game Dev Show. Let's pull this up. Sheets, there we go. So we'll be doing some more giveaways on the Game Dev Show on Sunday. We're giving away writer licenses and maybe some other things. And I actually just heard from Dave that he made a giveaway app too to do something similar because we talked about it. So now I'm really excited to see what his is like and maybe do like giveaways in both, do some sort of like a comparison thing, just have fun with it. I think it'd be a lot of fun, so kind of excited. All right, I'm going to go grab all of the names out of here. We've got a lot of them, 326, so we're definitely going to be running at a sped up mode once we get started. First though, let's just drop all the players in, and I'll show you a couple more of my settings that I added, because I figured this, let's stop playing. Stop playing. Paste in my names. So here, a couple things going on. First, with the players, everybody's got a number next to them, and that's just their number, their row number in my Google Sheet. Just because there are some people that have the same name. There are a lot of people that just have common names. Like I think number 2 in here is Joshua, and I think there are like 4 of them. Whatever the names were, I wanted to make sure that I could associate them without sharing anybody's email address, because the only other info I've got in there is email addresses. So now I've got my list of players. I'm gonna, let's see, save my scene because my list of players is part of my scene. Really briefly, just give a quick preview of what the scene looks like and how things are set up, and then we'll hit play and just let them start battling. So in the scene, these are the characters that I had. In fact, the way that I grabbed the characters was I pulled in that monster pack, and then I started playing with them in an empty scene, or it's empty demo scene, and then I actually dragged in the dungeon scene additively. They happened to be right here, and I was like, oh, that looks like a good spot. So I just kind of slightly adjusted them a little bit and moved the camera and set up their spots. It's like, okay, this looks like a decent shot for them. And then I added a light over the top of them so you could see them a little bit better. Outside of that, all of the work that I've done was really just in the canvas, and there's not a whole lot here. If we go to the scene view, I can hit F and hit 2D. If this looks a little bit weird to you, it's just because I'm in 2021.2, where they did a bunch of scene view changes and just editor inspector changes. So things look a little bit strange. The buttons look a little bit weird. That's probably why. It might be on the just previous version. All right, so here you'll see that we've got some sliders. These were my old health bars. They're not actually hooked up. I think there's still references to them in the code, but they're not used. I've got my names here for the people fighting. The left-hand side I've got kind of all in the beginning, so I could just drag them all down. And then same with the right-hand side. Right-hand side I got my player names and all that. And then a little slider down here that came with that night pack for adjusting the speed. And this is the only thing that has a separate script on it. If we take a look at it and expand it out for the speed control, if anybody was curious how that works, I just have a slider here, and it's using this stepped slider, which was part of that kit that makes it bounce and have the names here, but you could just use a regular old slider. And then on the slider, I have a game speed adapter script. I wanted to keep it really simple, and while I was trying not to do too much refactoring, too much cleanliness stuff at the start, it didn't make any sense to have this be in that battle script. So this little adapter just on start registers for the on value changed of a slider, which will just fire off whenever it changes, calls set speed, and just sets our time scale to that value. So I go like 0 to 4 of my values. All right, I think that's good enough of an explanation. I'm going to go to game mode, make sure that I'm in play maximized. I'm going to hit pause and play. Just want to watch and step in, just make sure. Okay, we've got our giant list. We've got 325 people remaining to battle. And before we start, I'm going to slow us down for just a second. In the attack delay section here, this is one of the last things I have. This is the amount of time that we wait in between attacks. I'm just going to turn it up to 1 second so we can get a couple nice slow battles. And you'll see that we've got row number 2 against 164, and that's because row number 1 is the header. All right, so we play. Let's watch them battle out. And see if we get some crits. I think what I'd like to add next is maybe like some pop-up text or something on the sides or over the heads when they take damage. All right, 164 is the winner there. Got 324 battles to go. We got our rat there against, I forget what that guy was. See the Black Knight, I think it was. And then a werewolf and, yeah, the ratkin guy. Okay, so you can see it's going along. We've got our fights going. Hopefully you're watching and you can kind of see where you are in this list. You can turn up the fight speed a little bit. Just double that up. And then let's go back down to the attack delay now and watch how much faster it gets when I turn that back down to like a 0.5. Which we're gonna need if we want to make this through this fight before the end of the day. So there we go. We got 320 fighters left. Seth's got it. And who's up next? I don't know. Hopefully there's at least a couple people or a lot of people who are watching live with their names, seeing if when they come up next. So remember, the winner is just gonna go down to the bottom of whichever list is the shortest. And hopefully I did a good job. I'm pretty sure I filtered these names right. These ones were a lot easier to filter. So here we go. We're flying through some of these battles. 313 to go. Let's just crank it up 4x speed. Now, one of the things I noticed was that I couldn't crank it up too much higher. Part of that was just the way that my code was set up and the way that my delays were done. So I think I'm gonna probably refactor that a little bit. And then I think what I'd like to do is, instead of having the fights have to be so fast, make it so that we'll do like a refactored version where there's like 4 fights going on at once, or maybe there's 8 or 10 characters and they all come in and they just start randomly fighting each other. Maybe like each one just randomly picks a target and they start fighting it. So it's totally random, but like, hectic or something. Or maybe even one where like you have like some cool control over it or something. So yeah, for how people registered, there was a question in chat, how people registered to get on the list, how you got onto it. I sent out a few emails about it and mentioned it a couple times in our live streams and videos. There's a link in the description. It's already running now, but if you want to be just aware of the other ones, just make sure that you're signed up for the email list, and then next time we do a giveaway, you'll be in it. We'll be giving away a writer license on Sunday, though, so make sure that you're just around for that. Subscribe and all that, and we'll give away another one. And I'm not sure exactly how we'll do it. Maybe we'll do it through here. I kind of want to see what Dave did, though, and see what that setup's like, what his battler is. He used the monkeys with guns. He said that he set up an AI battling system so they could all fight. Let's see. Well, we got a lot of guys fighting. That's okay. I guess girls too. It was Sally, right? And oh, Emma just got knocked out. That was so fast I missed it. I didn't even see one. All right, so yeah, I'd like to slow these down a little bit. Once we get down to like the 50 or so, once we've gotten past a couple rounds. One of the things that I think would be kind of cool to show in here too is like the actual rounds, like how many people have fought, how many battles there have been, what what elimination you're on, and maybe even let people like pick a character. Not so much. Ooh, we got a duplicate there. Oh, whatever. Maybe let people pick a character for visuals or something else, so that they can't do nothing like where you could set up your power or something, because it seems a little like overkill. But maybe like allow you to pick your character, lock your character in, or something like that, or even like link it in with YouTube. I think that would be an interesting project to do, just as a stream or as a video, doing something where you go through and just show how to sync up the players with YouTube. So the players are now the YouTube members instead of just people that I have to paste in from a list or something. Hey, there are a couple sets of duplicates that somehow I missed. I know what happened there. I get it. Well, when I appended the dashes and the numbers, I did that in Google Forms, and that got rid of any duplicates because it added a unique number to the end of them. It also let a couple blank spaces in too. So I guess you live and learn, right? Hopefully, as long as we don't get a winner that's a blank space with no email address or something, I think we'll be okay. We got 220 to go. I'm going to check out chat real quick and see what's going on in here. So, yeah, more random pick and 4x fights, yeah. I think that a lot more fights going on, being able to see your character fighting for a longer time and fighting like a bunch of different guys, or maybe even like giving them some special moves so they can do like an AE attack and it hits everybody. That could be a lot of fun. Something like that would be, I think, interesting and fun to make too. See what else we got in chat. Yeah, Jason won. That was earlier. On the test one, imagine losing to a blank space. I could see it. A blank space is won multiple times in my giveaways before. It's usually like the first entry whenever index 0 wins. So for anybody that's watching and just wondering, right now we're going through with an auto battler that I set up last night in bed to pick the winner for this giveaway, and we're giving away where's that at? Let me pull it up. It's a course that I thought was pretty interesting. They reached out to me about giving away. Let me pull this down so people can see their fight. I don't want anyone to miss out on what happens to their health. But they reached out to me about this course on video game writing. So art of writing for video games. And I think it's my weak point. So I thought, hey, that sounds very interesting. I definitely want to join. And then they gave me a seat to give away. So now we're doing that. I've sent out a couple emails to see who is interested, put everybody in, and then late last night decided to build something fun to pick the winner. So you can see all of the remaining contestants on the left and right, although they're way off the screen. Those are actually like text boxes. They're just scrolled down with all of the names. It's hundreds of lines long right now, or 176 divided by 2 names long. Well, 174 divided by 2. So they're pretty long, but you can see right here, we're actually starting to get people. Oh yeah, we've got number 4, Krish there, Martin number 5. We've got people from the beginning now that are starting to come up. So we're almost into round 2. The end, I think 326 right there is the last one from round 1. Then we'll finish round 1. We'll be on to round 2. Everybody that's made it here got to round 2. We'll slow you down a little bit. All right, round 2 battlers. All right. Daniel won the first battle. And then Martin. And then we'll let this one go. Victor. And then we're going to start speeding you guys back up because there's still a lot more to go. Wait until we get back on to round 3 when we start to see more single-digit battlers. I think a single-digit one showed up again. Or at least low digits. All right, let's check out chat and see what else we got here. You ever plan on hosting game jams? I hadn't thought about it. I mean, I've thought about it, but I haven't considered doing it yet. I just honestly don't have enough time to do it, and I want to make sure, like, if I did a game jam, I'd want to make sure I was able to actually play everybody's games and give good feedback. And I feel like there's so much stuff going on right now, I just wouldn't be able to find the time. But I'd love to just participate in one again sometime, or help do some judging on one again. That's always fun. But hosting one is just a little bit too much work. All right, let's see this battle go. See, oh, somebody asked if there's any submission protection against multiple submit on Google Form. Yeah, you can make them sign in. I think that's always an option. Make them sign in with the Google account. But or to be honest, I kind of just, I was so excited about the writing the code for this thing and doing the giveaway, I didn't even really think about it. I figured I'd just be able to easily clear them. And I think I got 90% of them. I assume that, if somebody that won, happens to have a duplicate thing, I don't know. We'll figure something out. I'm not worried about it, though. I think I cleaned up almost all of them. All right, how many we got? Let's say Pedro. What do we got? How do I know I lost? Well, you know you're lost if your name gets crossed out on the side there. So the loser there is the one that gets the strike through in their name. And you see let's go pull up that code. Now, if you already missed it, that's kind of hard. But your name will show up again here if you're still in the battle. So your name will start to slowly creep up on here. I'd like to show everybody, but I think there were just way too many people to show on there, at least without me coming up with some better solution. So let's see. I was going to jump into code real quick, and I forgot what I was going to show. Oh, I lost my train of thought already. Whoops. Well, let's go look anyway. Let's go open up some code. Not that code. Let's go open up this code. Go back into the battle script here. And, let's go look at the stuff for how we show who's up next. So to show the next players, you can see, this is how you know this was late at night. And the other thing, I was doing this in Visual Studio. That's why you see all of these private keywords here. My laptop's not really set up for development yet. I reinstalled Windows recently. So I've got Visual Studio set up on there. I was going to install Writer, but it was late and I was kind of tired. And I was like, I just don't want to do anything other than write code. So all of my fields are down here at the bottom. They've got this private keyword. My auto formatting is all messed up. But that's kind of what happened there. Anyway, the text here for who's up next. The next text was left name next. Let's go find it. Do Shift F and go find it. And you see that this text is actually just created by joining all of the names on the left side. So for the left one, I just do string.join, and you give it the character that you want to append to each one. And we're appending the left, or the /n, and then doing the left side. And then I just shove that into a text box there, make it show up. So that's how we're showing those. Okay, we're getting down to, are we almost to a single list? Yeah, look at that. Down to 63. All right, our list is getting short. All right, so each one is battling. We're down to 60. Once we get to 50, I'm going to cut it down to 1 speed. And we'll watch the last 50 battles in real time instead of high speed. All right. And remember, for anybody that was curious how the battles are happening and how the fight's happening, here, let me just slow this down to normal real quick. When we do the attacks, so what happens is every second, or half second right now is what it's at to, we do an attack. And the attack is done just by picking, let's see if I can find my attack method, right here. The left side rolls from 1 to 100. The right side rolls from 1 to 100. And then whichever one is bigger damages the other one. So if the left roll is bigger, then the right health goes down. If the right roll, otherwise, if the left roll is smaller, then the left health goes down. If they're matched, shouldn't happen often, but if it happens, then nobody takes damage. Nothing happens, nobody plays an animation. But if it does happen, then we hit one or the other. And then in the process hit, if we rolled greater than a 90, so 1 out of 10 hits, we do a critical, and that plays a different animation and just does triple damage. That'd be more interesting than watching the bars always go down and see, like, sometimes there's a big swing and a comeback. Seemed like it'd be more fun. All right, so let's watch our last 50 battles. I'm sorry you lost in round 2. We'll do a lot more of these. I'm having fun with this, so I'm sure we'll do these again in the future. All right, we've got 48 fights to go. By the way, if you thought this was fun and you want to see the actual code kind of dove into or just the refactor of it, make sure that you hit the like button and just leave a comment afterwards. Let me know so we can know to do more of these things. know that they're interesting. I just looked and realized there's very few likes on here, so if people hate it, then I probably won't do too many more. But if people like the giveaway live stream thingies with the code, then we'll do them. All right, what do we got there? Ooh. All right, let's watch these last 40 fights. George against June. George has got it. Yeah, I'd really like to make it so you can like pick and customize your character or something. I don't know that anybody would care. Yeah, just kind of neat. All right, Dolly 320. Oh, Muhammad Ali versus Arya. This is a tough one. Oh, Muhammad beating up a little girl. Oh, thinking of Game of Thrones. All right, we got Martin is the winner there. Martin 5. All right, one of the first. So Martin 5 would be the fourth person that entered the giveaway, by the way, because row 1 was the header there. So it was an early entry, still in there. And then we got, is it a Jason went in? Yep, and a Jason won. This is exactly why we got the numbers there. There were a lot of Jasons and other just common names. All right, we got a couple more battles to go. 38 left. I don't know who. I'm going to check chat real quick. See, is there anything else? Let's see. It might be an idea to provide. Oh, yeah, some Unity asset store links for these things. I think so. And one of the things I'm going to do is probably just provide the code. I think what I'll do, I was going to actually set it up just as a members thing first. Just put up the code there for everybody that's already subscribed as a member on the channel. Just make that available. And then as I do the full video and refactor, eventually make it available for everybody. So if anybody wants to get into that quickly, if you happen to be a member, I'll probably drop that up later on today. But I'll probably do the video in the next week or so. So don't think that you have to just to get access to the code if you want to check it out. All right, we got a couple more fights. 31 left. Yeah, that would be hilarious. I was just reading the chat. It would be funny if I put myself in and won the fight. That's one of the benefits. If you don't see the code, then you don't know how it works. I could just make myself auto win. Jason always criticals, right? Jason 183 with 100% crit rate. All right, we got Patrick. Oh, he's down. See, one of the other things that was difficult was getting the all of the names to show up right. By the way, you can see some of them are still too long for the side things. I didn't test it enough. Need to make those bigger, and they don't really fit into the winner text there. So I've got to kind of figure that out and maybe adjust it a bit. But overall, this was definitely a fun one to put together. An interesting thing to kind of build overnight. Okay, we got 25 left. Yeah, so somebody saw the minus 20. That happens because if they get to 10 and they get critical for 30, then they drop down to below 0. You can kind of see it happening. And I thought about maybe clearing that up, but then I realized since I don't have the damage bars here anyway, or the damage number showing up in the crit text yet or anything, there's no way to show that you kind of like overkilled them, and it just kind of gave that extra effect. You can see like, hey, you did more damage. You didn't just beat him, like you beat the crap out of him. Something. Refactor this game into a single line of code? Definitely not. So one of the things I'd like to refactor is getting this down to, oh, Martin won again, down to a couple more files. Maybe getting it down to, my guess is that in the end, have something like characters as a class. Like maybe it's character or player or something like that. And then we'd have another class that's like a battle. And then there'd be a game going on that's controlling multiple battles that have multiple characters in it. And then we wait for all of the battles to end. And then at the end of that, we pick the new character. We set up the next battles with the new characters from our list or something like that. So it'd be somewhere where that refactoring would go. And then eventually, if I was worried about it longer term, maybe separating out the UI stuff a bit more as well. But it depends, because the UI might end up, if I ended up with 4 characters, it may end up that the UI gets bound more to the characters, and then maybe those characters just kind of bind up to world or screen space UI elements in addition to their world space children or something. All right, we got 13 fights left. Dominic won. All right, and now we got Rodney versus Kelso. Oh, Rodney wins it. All right, for the last 10, I think I'm gonna slow us down even more. Let's pause. We're gonna go down to an attack delay of 1, so we get longer fights. And play. All right, for our last 10, we've got Grant versus Armando. Let's watch the fight. Come on, who's got it? Oh, Grant with the crit. Oh, Armando came back with the crit. And Armando finished him off with another crit. Those crits are common, huh? All right, Steven versus Aaron. Let's see who's got this one. Oh, Aaron's in the lead. Oh, crushing him with that werewolf. One more hit. I wasn't even close. All right, Alyssa versus Bijan. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Let's see who got it. Oh, and Alyssa, 50% health left. All right, 7 to go. I'm getting a little congested here. Yeah, Martin's gone. Knocked out. I'm just watching chat here. All right, we got a couple left. 6 fights left, or 6 people left, so 5 fights. Rodney versus Dolly. All right, who's going to get it? Okay, let's see Dolly there. Oh, 1 crit away. Dolly's got it. All right, we got 4 fights left. Armando versus Aaron. 90%, 80%, 70, 60, 50, 6. Oh, okay, tied 50 to 50. Aaron versus Armando. All right, slide it up. Come on. Oh, we're 1 crit away on either side. Oh, that was like a no crit fight. Aaron won it. All right. We've got 2 fights left after this. It's like intense. This is the most intense stream thing I've ever done. It's just not very intense, but still pretty intense. All right, we got 1 fight after this. Aaron versus Dolly. And then we got Chinmaya last. Aaron versus Chinmaya. Final fight. Here we go. Who's going to win it? All right, it's 50% to 60% right now. Aaron just crushed her for 10. Crushed over there for the werewolf. Get him. Oh, that was close. That was really close. All right, good fight, everybody. It looks like Aaron's got the win there. Aaron 223, and I'm going to go just do a double check on 223 real quick. So that would be like the 222nd person? Yeah, because my indexes. So 223. All right. Yep, Aaron looks good. Entry looks good. I don't see any issues. Just wanted to make sure that the email wasn't like, I hate video games at goaway.com or something crazy. But no, it looks good. Aaron's a real person and will be getting the course, the free seat in the course. So congratulations. I hope you're excited. I'm pretty excited to go check it out myself and just be part of it and hopefully learn how to do some better game writing to go along with my code stuff. I got a couple video game ideas that I'd like to make one day, but the writing part always is just way too difficult for me. So Aaron 223 is our second winner. I'm going to write that down in my notepad right here, right after Tono. You can see our 2 winners for the day. Oh, they're nice and tiny. But I'm going to save this off as winners, and then I'll email you both shortly after this. So hopefully everybody had a good time. I know I had fun just building this and kind of watching it. I'm going to restart it real quick just so everybody can watch the battle kind of going for fun. see it again in action. But if you guys want to see more of this, you want to see some more streams like these, just let me know. Drop a comment down below. Especially drop a comment after. I mean, hitting like helps, but dropping a comment after I think makes YouTube really like it and gives people an idea of what's actually in there. So if you want to see more of these streams, more giveaways, or if you happen to have something that you just want to give away, or you want to like copy of this awesome, amazing software so you can use it to give something away, just shoot me an email, let me know. In addition to that, I think that was all I had. Black Friday deal. It's down below. Game.courses/Black Friday. Got hoodies and bundle, a whole bunch of other cool free bundle bonus stuff and giant discounts and all that. And subscribe, like. Oh, and I'll see you on Sunday. Make sure that you're subscribed for that. We'll be back for the show. We'll talk about probably some cool Black Friday deals that we got, some Cyber Monday stuff that's coming up, and I think about code on these giveaway apps and maybe about building some non-game apps. I think one of the key things that I want to talk about this weekend. So thanks again for coming out and joining us. Please hit the button up. Here, somebody said turn the attack speed down. Let's try it. So I'm going to turn down to 0.01 instead of 0.1 and then crank this up. You can see it kind of fast. We still have the 1 second in between each fight as they come together because that part's not being sped up really, but everything else is nice and quick. You want to see speed battles, but we could make this faster. All right, so for next week maybe. All right, thanks again for coming out and joining me. I appreciate everybody here. Hit subscribe, share, all that stuff, and I'll see you again in just a couple days. All right. Bye. Let me find my offline button now. Oh, ending soon.